What are your thoughts on the fat acceptance movement? We didn't get to hear much. Fat acceptance is cringe as fuck. The problem with like every left-leaning liberal movement or left-leaning progressive movement, it's probably true of right-leaning movements as well, is there's always like there's an aspect of truth to it, but it ends up always getting pushed too far. So like, you should always love yourself and you should always love your body. But the difficulty for a human is to simultaneously accept a love of something and a criticism of something at the same time. We tend to be really binary with how we view things. And one of the side effects of that is that any negative trait we have, we always try to reframe that trait in a positive light instead of being upfront and honest about the negativity of the trait. So like one example of this might be, let's say you don't go to the gym. Instead of just saying like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm out of shape and I'm weak and, you know, I should be. Instead of saying something like that, what people do is they'll reframe it as like, oh, well, I shouldn't work out anyway. It's a waste of time. I do better things otherwise. Or, you know, like people will make excuses for it. They'll take a negative trait and they'll try to spin it in a positive light instead of just saying like, you know what, I can love myself. I can love my body. But yeah, this is like a negative trait of mine as well. And I think that's the issue with fat acceptance. And that like the fundamental idea of like, listen, I'm overweight, but that doesn't mean I have to hate myself. That's true. And you can even love your body without hating it while acknowledging that there's like some negatives of it. But it gets pushed too far, and then you get people saying things like, well, just because you're fat doesn't mean you're unhealthy. Well, yeah, being fat is by definition unhealthy. There's a whole host of like negative outcomes that are related just to being overweight. Even if you exercise and everything else, just being overweight in and of itself is a bad thing, you know? So yeah, that's the issue with the fat at every size thing, that it tries to reframe a negative and a positive instead of just saying you can simultaneously accept the negative aspect of yourself without hating yourself at the same time.